The college basketball experience, Xavier Musketeers 2022-23 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Networks presented by WynnBET. Bet $100 at WynnBET and get $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. We're also brought to you by the SGPN merch store. Use the promo code NFCBeast for 15% off, active until the Eagles or Giants lose their next game. And make sure to check out our World Series prop contest. Winner gets $200 cash and a $200 gift card to the SGPN merch store. Enter today exclusively on the SGPN app. And then remember, folks, to let it ride.
What's up, everybody? This is Cameron Krug from Loyola Chicago Ramblers, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride. Shout out to the Broad Stop. Thank you, guys.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college basketball experience. Xavier Musketeers 2022-23 season preview episode. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I smoke and I drink and I don't have stress and I'm healthy.
I love watching Xavier hoops, all right? They haven't had a losing season since 94. Wow. With their first year in the A-10, and now they're in the Big East. As I'm sure you well know, I am joined by my co-host here, former video coordinator for I hate to say it, for Bob Huggins. When he was at West Virginia, folks, so not Cincinnati. I know that's some of the best games. We'll talk about that in a second. But give it up for Ryan McIntyre. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing good, Colby. And like you said, the Mountaineers are on the Xavier schedule this non-conference slate, so we'll get to that. But ready to talk a little Skyline Chili in Cincinnati. I like this Xavier team a lot, even as a Hugs guy.
I mean, me too. I'll be honest.
Yes.
Growing up, Duke Carolina, amazing rivalry. Michigan State, fun. Maryland Duke was great for a certain amount of time. Before they left the ACC. Syracuse, Georgetown was great, but one of the most underrated rivalries that I really believe, underrated rivalry. I'll put it right there. I'll be honest. After Duke, Carolina, I know you could say West Virginia Pitt and stuff, and I know you're a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
But Xavier, Cincinnati, the Crosstown Classic or whatever they call that thing, Crosstown rivalry, the Skyline Chili rivalry, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Those games are always great. I don't care if it's a 20-point win because the animosities are like you can just see it everywhere on the court. And sign me up for it every year. I don't care. They could be 0-20 playing each other. I want to watch it. All right. And man, some of those battles with your old boss, Bob Huggins and
Pete Gillen.
Oh my God. I mean, I wish folks, if you are late to the curve on college basketball and this, in the 90s, I'm telling you, they were some of the most heated games you could watch. Cincinnati, Xavier, even early 2000s. I mean, part of the reason why I love college basketball, I can honestly say Xavier Cincinnati plays a role in that. And here the Musketeers are, by the way. And I should just, shoot off that Musketeer because they did this offseason. By the way, shout out to Xavier, making me look like a genius last year when they missed the NCAA tournament. I was the one on this very show saying, you know what, they got it wrong. They should have been in the NCAA tournament. And I believe I was proven right because they won the NIT. I think traditionally you can say the winner of the NIT is probably the team that they got wrong and they should have put it in the NCAA tournament. Boom. I know everyone was screaming Texas A&M. Buzz Williams was crying. Greg Sankey's still trying to get A&M. So once 88 teams in the fucking tournament now, come on, relax. All right. A&M's out-of-conference schedule was dog shit. Xavier actually challenged themselves, and we proved it in the NIT. But look, that wasn't good enough for Xavier fans, and rightfully so. Like I said, when you haven't had a losing season since '94, they went back to a familiar guy in Sean Miller, who was probably the best available coach out there, with a college basketball with a rich history. He played at Pitt. I was talking pre-episode about he was in the game where Jerome Lane just shatters the backboard as a kid. We had that on VHS, and I would find myself watching that. I can't say I watched that game live, at least that I know of, but he's from that, I know Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, that neck of the woods. And then, obviously he was there at Xavier for 5 years where he went 120-47. What do you make of Coach Miller being back in Cincinnati?
They hit a home run with this hire, bringing him back. I mean, he was awesome from 2005 to 2009 in his first stint before he went out west to Arizona, going to a Sweet 16, Elite 8. They couldn't have asked for a better hire. I think he's going to get Xavier right back to where they were before. And you just look at his coaching staff. He hired Huggs' former strength coach, and you're probably like, oh, what's the strength coach going to do? You're going to see the transformation in the bodies of Kunkel, Jones, Fremantle, and Nunge for what they were, and then you're going to see a different style of basketball this year with that hire right there.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I mean, I get it. You lose Paul Scruggs, who was a damn good player for them over the past, few years. And you lose Nate Johnson and Dwon Odom. Those three guys combined for, about 28 and a half points from a season ago. But I think you look at what this team returns, and obviously Colby Jones, great name, and then B, Colby Jones is back, Zach Fremantle, and Jack Nunge. You just alluded to a couple of those guys. Those three, but I would also say they still have Jerome Hunter, who kind of underachieved a little bit last year, the UVA transfer. 15 minutes a game, 4 points a season ago. I think he'll probably step up and take a bigger role. Adam Kunkel as well. And then a huge transfer get. Absolutely huge transfer get in Souley Boum from UTEP, who I know many teams were trying to get him. This guy down there in El Paso averaged 37 minutes a game. Just a shade under 20 points per game, 4.5 boards and 3 assists, 1.8 steals too. That's something impressive right there. And, you bring back all of those guys, and then, also a couple other guys. Deontay Miles, guy got about 9 minutes a game a season ago. He steps into, upperclassman role now. Kiki Tandy, a senior guard who got about 7 minutes per game. And then Caesar Edwards, a 6'9" forward that was just a freshman a season ago. And I think you have a decent squad there. And then you add in two top 100 recruits in Cam Kraft out of Buffalo Grove, Illinois, not Buffalo, New York. And then and Des Claude from New Haven, Connecticut. So you're getting two really known freshman guards that are like I said, top 100 recruits. You also have Elijah Tucker. What do you make of this team? What do you make of this roster?
I mean, you mentioned it. Four out of the 5 starters are back. The big one, getting Boum in the transfer portal from UTEP is huge to solidify that point guard position. But I mean, this was a top 15 team at the Christmas mark last year. And I mean, they were locked for the NCAA tournament. I know you touched on they should have been in the tournament. It never should have been a discussion if they don't lose 12 out of their last 20 games. Yeah.
But I still say, and you're right. And this is, I think one of the problems is the recency bias. And I get it. I think it's a human element. But I just thought, man, that Xavier team was too talented. They were great out the gate. They had some injuries, and then when they all came back, they couldn't find the groove. But I just thought, you can't keep a team with that record, with that personnel out, in my opinion. If I was on the committee, I would have been saying, no, we got to get them in. We got to get them in because I think they're better, and they didn't chicken out scheduling-wise. They actually went up, and I thought they deserved it based off that. But it probably works out better because I don't know that Sean Miller would be there had Xavier and Travis Steele now down the road at Miami, Ohio. But I just, and not a diss against Travis Steele, I think Sean Miller's just a better head coach. And it's just a better situation. So if you're a Xavier fan, you're probably agreeing with me, but I don't know that you would have Sean Miller. I mean, Sean Miller almost took the South Carolina job, folks. You don't realize that he was down there in Columbia, South Carolina, going to dinner with the athletic director. That was almost a done deal. So maybe a blessing in disguise there, what happened last year. We're going to project the starting five. Once again, project, keyword project. But I think this one we can kind of nail. But before we get there, I want to tell you that the Xavier Musketeers 2022-23 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WynnBET. Bet $100 at WynnBET. Get a $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. And folks, remember, we are on YouTube. All right. The college football experience, the college basketball experience, all together, come together on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience. Subscribe, tell a friend. You can watch this, but also, since you're going to be right there on YouTube subscribing to us, subscribe to the Sports Gambling Podcast, the podcast that started it all for all of us. Sports Gambling Podcast is giving you a chance to win your choice of either an autographed Lawrence Taylor. Hey, Young Bucks, that's a former New York Giant. That was absolutely fucking awesome, right? Or a choice of an autographed Brian Dawkins jersey. That was a safety that played for the Eagles and the Broncos, who was really good as well. The contest is free to enter, and that's signed, by the way. Signed jersey from LT, signed jersey from Brian Dawkins. All you have to do, like I said, they're giving it away for free, all right? Subscribe to youtube.com/the Sports Gambling Podcast. So youtube.com/sports gambling podcast, and then comment on a video. Each video is a chance a new chance to win. And you got to make sure you turn on your notifications so you do not miss out when SGP contacts you and they pull that winner. So do that. And also check out, remember to make sure to enter our World Series prop contest. Winner gets $200 cash and a $200 gift card at the SGPN merch store. Enter today exclusively on the SGPN app, which is free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store. And remember, folks, let it ride. All right, looking at this starting five, or what we would think would be the starting five, and I actually think this is one of the easier ones that we've done.
Mm-hmm.
Souley Boum is going to start.
Yes.
I think maybe you can make a case. No, I think I have it. It's going to be Boum, then Adam Kunkel, then Colby Jones, then Zach Fremantle, then Jack Nunge. Maybe you can talk me into Jerome Hunter somehow entering the starting lineup. Maybe you could tell me that. I don't think so, though. I think I nailed it right there with the starting five. And what do you think? Would you agree?
No, I agree with you 100% with what you had. And you look at it, senior, junior, senior, redshirt senior, that you got a veteran group here. And I just think that collapse last year in the NIT run is going to fuel this team going forward into this 2022-23 season.
Yeah, and one thing to talk about is Sean Miller will have a suspension, I believe. Something to keep in mind.
From his Arizona days.
Yeah,
yes.
Something to keep in mind, even though the NCAA is just a fucking joke. I'm sure they'll give him I mean, we don't know, but I would imagine, I don't know, a week or two suspension maybe. I don't know. Something to keep an eye on, though. Let's take a look at the schedule. Let's hop into the schedule and open up with a pretty easy first couple games. Morgan State, no disrespect, Morgan State. They come into Cincinnati on Fox Sports 1 on November 7th. Any chance you're going to take Morgan State to pull the upset.
You know, I can't wait to preview this game on November 7th because that means college basketball will be back. But no, they do not have a chance. So tune into our first episode on November the 7th.
Yes, and folks, in case you did not rock with us last year or any of the past 5 years we've been doing this, we'll be here every single night of the college basketball season talking our best bets. Never had a losing season. We've been over 500 every single year, picking every single game ATS, every single college basketball Division I game ATS. But it's not only all gambling based. There's, we do love college basketball for what it is without gambling, and we'll just highlight what game are we most, actually not even sometimes, most times the games we're most excited to see, the matchups we're most excited to see. So subscribe to the College Basketball Experience. And remember, tell a friend. So, all right, yeah. So then game 2 comes along, and the Montana Grizzlies, not a terrible team in the Big Sky, but still not ready, I don't think, for Cincinnati, or heading to Cincinnati to take on Xavier. What do you make?
No, Montana keeps a good program, but no, the Musketeers are going to roll here again.
Yeah. Then their third out of conference game, they take on Fairfield Tuesday, November 15th.
Mm-hmm.
Any chance that you could see Fairfield pull it on? Come on, 3-0, right?
Yeah, 3-0. Although a look-ahead spot to the next game.
Yes, and that's where things get interesting because the Gavitt games, and man, I was just looking at this earlier today. See, there's a lot of preseason tournaments. In fact, there's one we're going to talk about in a minute. But I love home environments in college football and college basketball, and I wish, I get it, some of the other matchups that we see in Maui or the Phil Knight Legacy or in Cancun, they're fun to see those matchups, but there's something special about seeing it on the home hardwood. And we get Mike Woodson in the Indiana Hoosiers heading into Cincinnati, Ohio, man, to take on Xavier. Fox Sports 1. I know what I'm doing Friday, November 18th. I'm watching this fucking game, the entire game. I'm not going to miss a second, and I'm very, very excited for this matchup. This might be, I know you have the Kentucky, Michigan State game, the Kansas Duke, the Michigan
Gonzaga,
State,
Texas.
Yeah, but I'll be honest, those aren't on the home stadiums. Well, maybe Gonzaga, Texas is, but I'm saying this is right there. I would put this above even the Kansas, Michigan, or the Kansas Duke and the Michigan State, Kentucky. Even that battleship game going on there with what is that? What is that? Gonzaga, Michigan State on the battleship in San Diego on November. Yeah. This would be my top. This would be above that. Now, yes, the Gonzaga Texas game does catch my eye because that is on. I believe that's in Austin, if memory serves me correct. What do you do? I'm taking Xavier. What are you doing?
Friday night in the Natty, baby. Give me the home team. It's going to be lit.
This place is going to be amazing. You're lucky. Yeah, look, we've turned this thing into a successful podcast here at Sports Gambling Podcast Network and the College Basketball Experience. But you're lucky, motherfuckers, that I don't have a private jet because I would be there, all right? I would be there. I'd be throwing Skyline chili at the fucking Indiana players, all right? Next up, the Phil Knight Legacy that I was alluding to. This is in Portland, Oregon, and this is a loaded deck. So this is on Thanksgiving. Man. Supposed to be cooking on Thanksgiving. The Florida Gators take on Xavier in Portland, Oregon, ESPN 2. Sign me up. I gotta watch this. The Egg Bowl is gonna be going on. Mississippi State. Oh man. I'm going Xavier.
Yeah, I'll take the veteran coach here. I'll take Sean Miller over Golden.
And I think he's got a better team that he's walking into.
Agreed.
So I got Xavier 5-0 here, and then they get the winner of the Duke-Oregon State game, but Wayne Tinkle's whole squad. Now, this isn't the Oregon State team that went to the Elite Eight 2 years ago. I think the Beavs are due for some regression. So I got Duke winning that one. So I'm going to go ahead and say it's going to be Xavier Duke on Friday, November 25th in Portland, Oregon. Clash in styles here. The youth, the fountain of youth, which is the old team that is Xavier against the actual youth. Whew. Dude, I think Xavier can win this game because of how young Duke is. I really believe that.
I agree, but I'm going to take Duke in a close one. I think they really want Duke and Gonzaga in that final.
They might really want it. I'm taking the Musketeers. Let's go, baby. Look, I just think it's tough to I get it. Duke's got this unbelievable, maybe the best recruiting class I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But I do think it's hard to mesh. And let's be honest, with the exception of Souley, Boum, Kunkel, Jones, Fremantle, Nunge, Hunter, Miles, Edwards, they all played with each other last year. There's something about continuity. We saw it in the Final Four season. They go, give me the Musketeers. Starting out 6-0, and then they play another game on Sunday, November 27th in the Phil Knight Legacy. We just don't know who it's going to be.
With your bracket, it'll be Gonzaga most likely.
Then I'll take Gonzaga.
Hey, with mine, I think it's going to be West Virginia. So I think you're going to see the Mountaineers and Musketeers twice in a 10-day span. A little home and neutral, I guess.
Well, I don't want to make you answer that one then. Just give me the tournament record.
I'm going to
deduce it from there.
Yeah, I'll go 2-1 for the Musketeers. I think they get 2 out of 3.
I'm going to go 2-1 too. So that means they would be 5-1 and then they still have the Southeast Louisiana Lions coming to town on November 30th, 6-1 in the month of November, right?
Yes, I like this team.
Then, man. December 3rd, the Big East Big 12 showdown. Bob Huggins returns to Cincinnati. This is a game I will certainly watch.
Oh, it's Saturday night.
Yes. This is fantastic.
Ooh.
I don't know if I want to make you answer this one, but I'll take the home team here.
So Colby gives me the Kirk Herbstreit treatment. He asks, like, when Herbstreit's calling a game, he asks him, what are the keys to victory? Obviously, everybody knows I'm going to go with the Mountaineers, but I expect this one to be a full-out war.
Yes. So I got him 7-1. You got him 6-2.
Yes.
Then Saturday, December 10th. Oh, man. This is at 5th Third Arena. Heading across town to take on the Cincinnati Bearcats and Wes Miller's bunch, who they fucked them up last year. Wes Miller, I don't think was ready for that. Can they answer? This is a compelling part of the rivalry here to see if the Bearcats can bounce back. I'm taking Xavier, but this is tricky to me. This is very tricky because I do think Wes Miller will have them more ready, or I think it's going to be actually like a pretty close game this year.
No, it's going to be a rock fight. I think these two teams are somewhat evenly matched. Well, Xavier's a little bit better, but it's at the Bearcats. I'm going to go Xavier wins a one-possession game here. They get a bounce back after the West Virginia game.
And then they get Southern, the Jaguars, heading to Cincinnati on December 13th. Dude, I only have them losing one game out of conference. Call me crazy. I know you got them losing 2, but I will say something to pay attention to is the Sean Miller suspension, because if it's longer than what I think it is, maybe I would project these differently. All right, let's get into conference play. Obviously, the Big East conference play starts early in December. December 16th, Washington, D.C. They headed Patrick Ewing hosts the Xavier Musketeers. Interesting game here to open Big East play on December 16th. What are you doing here?
I am taking the Musketeers. I know this is a big year for Big Pat, but I'm going to ride the Musketeers here.
I'm with you too. Then comes Seton Hall on December 20th. This is on Fox Sports 1 as well, same as the Georgetown game. Actually, same as I feel like all these games. But I did the Seton Hall pod. I called for Xavier to win this. Do I have Xavier winning the national championship?
Yeah, I was gonna say you got to run through the Big East. I agree with you. Home team here. Give me the Musketeers here as well.
All right, and then comes December 28th, Queens, New York. Mike Anderson squad. This is the one I'll go. It's a tough road game. It's not the Garden, but I think in the Garden your team actually plays better because they highlight that. They say, oh, this one's in Queens. So give me St. John's with the dub here. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm riding with the Johnnies as well. It's always a tricky spot playing that game between the two holidays, Christmas and then New Year's. So Give me the home team, home dog here.
You're all out of shape. You've been drinking and eating all, and then you got to hit the road. Got to favor the home team there, right?
Yes.
Then New Year's Eve, fantastic. My New Year's Eve. I almost wish New Year's Eve was not on a Saturday. Because I feel like my wife's going to be asking me to do things, and it's just not a good day. Like that's a great possible argument day. You know what I mean? And you can't do that because it's New Year's. You know what I mean? You got to celebrate your time on planet Earth, the old rock. Yeah, you kiss at New Year's, all that good stuff, right? But goddamn, the basketball slate is loaded. UConn heads to Cincinnati. This place is going to be rocking. Skyline chili would be flowing. I'm taking the Musketeers to upset UConn.
Same. Yeah, and you mentioned it. New Year's Eve is a hell of a sports day. And for everybody, go check out the college football experience where that's a hell of a college football bowl day. I mean, boy, you got the Sun Bowl, you got the Chick-fil-A Bowl, you got all sorts of bowls that day.
And I think this year you have the CFP. I think this year is the last year of the CFP on New Year's Eve, which was a dumb idea because their ratings aren't as good because, like the situation I'm explaining to you. The situation is like the families, if you have kids and stuff, it's a critical day, but also obviously if you have a wife or something, this is something where like she circles, this is a day where I need to be hanging out with my husband all day. So that limits the amount of time that you can really get a hold of watching all these games.
They owe a lot of people apologies in their own households because the guys are trying to watch the game and the wives are nagging them. Hey, let's go do this. God damn it, Alabama playing Clemson.
Yeah, I'm like, come on. Anyway, I'm taking Xavier. I only have them losing 2 games in the 2022 part of the season. Now, obviously, the season goes into 2023. You have them losing 3.
Yes.
Okay, that's still a great. For beginning to the Sean Miller Part 2 era. Before we get to the rest of the schedule, we're not going to go through every game, but I got to read off one more ad. I want to tell you that the Xavier Musketeers 2022-23 season preview is brought to you by No House Advantage. No House Advantage is changing the game by offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. You can play a pick-em contest versus other people for a shot at winning $250K in cash. Download the app, choose a contest, select your player props, earn points for corrected picks, and climb up that leaderboard for your shot to win big money every day. You can also test your skills against the house and win 20 times the amount of money you enter if you hit all your picks. Bet on up to 5 player prop over and unders or individual player matchups across every major sports league. That includes the NFL, NBA, MLB, PGA, MMA, even NASCAR. All right? Take Earnhardt Jr. If you ask me, I don't know any other NASCAR drivers. Anyway, sign up now with the promo code SGPN at nohouseadvantage.com or download the app on the App Store or Google Play Store to get a first deposit match up to $25. Make sure you check out No House Advantage today. By the way, if you're a NASCAR guy, check out the NASCAR Gambling Podcast. That's the type of company guy I am because they know what the hell they're talking about over there. Back talking Xavier Musketeers. Look, we're not going to go through every game because injuries can happen. But I'm curious. I'm curious of a 3-game stretch you could find in this schedule where you just say, man, that's brutal. But every Xavier fan is going to be circling that saying, A, we can build our resume. A, if we get these wins, we can win the Big East. And or B, if we get these games, we can win the Big East. Or C, that we have opportunity here. That's what's great. Even if you start your season, I'm not necessarily pretending this to Xavier, but I'm saying if you start your season bad, the teams that are in the power conference are afforded the luxury because the conference schedules are so good where you can bounce back and get in the big dance. So is there a 3-game stretch? And I'm curious. I know the one right out the gate.
Yeah.
I feel like if you go December 31st to January 11th, or I see a few others. I do see another one late in the year that that's pretty harsh. Where are you going?
I see a back-to-back road spot in late January that's brutal at UConn and at Creighton. So not only do you got to play two quality teams, you got a travel spot all the way from Storrs, Connecticut, all the way to Omaha, Nebraska.
Within 3 days, yeah.
Yeah. And you got to come home after that and play Ed Cooley, who's always a pain in the ass to play against.
Yeah, I think you make a strong case there with that travel. That is some serious travel there. As Creighton, that one team in the Big East where everyone says, huh? Nebraska? Where is it? I think you make a strong point. I'll be honest, I highlighted that one. I highlighted December 31st, obviously the UConn game that we just talked about. But then after that, they have a week off, but they're at Nova, and then they're home to Creighton. So if they can take care of home court and hope that Villanova maybe will not be traditional Villanova in Kyle Neptune's first year, maybe they could really grab some key victories there. But also to end the season, I see that stretch of February 21st to March 1st, the home game to Nova, then at Seton Hall, and then at Providence, and then their season finale home to Butler. The Big East is just loaded. Let's just be honest. The Big East is loaded. So let me ask you this: I am currently looking at Xavier plus 475 to win the Big East. They have the same odds as UConn. So Vegas perhaps a little higher on the Musketeers than maybe me and you would have thought.
Yeah.
If you're a Xavier fan, should you be? I think you should. Because we don't know what Kyle Neptune, and also they have some the injury situation at Villanova's already because of last season with Justin Moore. 475, why not? I mean, Creighton, traditionally, I feel like when there's a bullseye on Creighton, they don't play as good.
Yes.
So that means you would have the same odds as UConn. You do have the same odds as UConn. So I'm saying, like, if you think Nova with Neptune and Justin Moore's injury, you don't know when he's coming back. A little bit of the unknown there. I kind of like that. I'd say sprinkle a little bit, but let me talk to me on where you have Xavier finishing in Big East play.
I got them too, right behind Villanova. I think you touched on it. Creighton is better as the hunter than the hunted. So I think they're a little bit of a disappointment this year. Still solidly an NCAA tournament team. And then we both agree there's question marks with UConn, a little bit of consistency issues, the RJ Cole and Tyrese Martin losses. So I'm going to go Xavier number 2. I think here in February, because of the strength program that they brought in with Andy Kettler, and they're going to see the benefits of that come the dog days of February. Yeah,
and even if you have that Miller suspension, let's say they say 3 weeks, it's beginning of the year. You don't play any Big East opponents, so I think you'll be all right there. So I did Nova to win the Big East, even though I'll be honest, I did the Nova.
I don't love it either. Week. Yeah.
Well, Moore's injury, the way they talk about it, there's nothing set in stone. And then for some reason I thought it was an ACL. It was an Achilles, which I think is harder to come back from. I don't know. I feel like I feel like I'm in the mix there with I think Xavier could win it. I do, but I mean, since I've already said Nova, I'm going to say Nova. At 2, I'll go Xavier. 3 Creighton. 4, no. 3 UConn, 4 Creighton.
I like it.
5 Butler. And I know I'm switching this, so people that listen to the other episode be like, hey, you asshole, you changed your order, right? Well, I also didn't realize that injury and where that would be occurring, essentially, and how far that would be. It's hard to forecast it when you don't know when Justin Moore's coming back. Yes. You know what I mean? Like, you need to know that. And then after that, then I'll go Butler. Butler, I have a surprise team. Butler could really surprise, I think, this year. So I got the Musketeers there. Talk to me about how far you think. What's the ceiling NCAA tournament wise?
I think Elite 8. I think this team is good. They're old. If they get a good draw, it seems like with Chris Mack, they were always right there, but they just couldn't get out of the round of 32 and knock down that door. I think they could get all the way to the Elite 8 if they get a good draw.
I agree. I agree. I think it all matters matchups when you get in the NCAA tournament, but I think, the Sweet 16, Elite 8 for Sean Miller's first year, you'll be happy. Disappointing? NIT? Or maybe worse than that? CIT?
I think it's a success no matter what year one if they just get back to the NCAA tournament. It's been since 2018 that they've been. So I think they're going to get there easily, but if they don't make it, that would be a disappointing season.
Yeah. I agree. I cannot wait. I love Xavier basketball. I love what they're doing. Start your football program, though, folks. All right, you got that cool-ass X symbol. I can see it on the helmet now. Let's get it going. It's a brand new era. There's NIL. Start the Xavier football program. But, folks, remember, November 7th, we're here talking college hoops every single night, the whole entire season. Subscribe. Tell a friend, the college basketball experience. Also subscribe to the college football experience. And we're waiting on you, Xavier, to start that football team. Bring it back, I should say, because you had it at one point. And we come together as one on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience. Also, check out the Sports Gambling Podcast. And also, what are you doing, folks? Hop on over to Twitter and give us a follow at TCE on SGPN. But also, Ryan McIntyre's on Twitter at Moneyline_Mac. You can see it if you're watching on YouTube right now. He's got a plethora of shows you need to check out, all right? NFL Gambling Podcast. He helps out with the NBA Gambling Podcast. He does the Ryan and Rush Show, the backdrop that he currently has. Check out all of those. And, Ryan's going to be with us, talking college hoops. He's a huge ingredient now of the college basketball experience. So check us out and give him a follow. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. Give me a follow as well. Check out all of our other podcasts right now. MLB, it's the World Series. Check it out. MLB Gambling Podcast. NHL season just started up. All right. Hey, Blue Jacket fans. All right. Check it out. NHL Gambling Podcast, NBA Gambling Podcast, NFL Gambling Podcast, CFL. What? Going to discriminate against the Canadian Football League? Don't do that, because the road to the Grey Cup's always fantastic. And one of Ohio's own, Nathan Rourke, starting quarterback for the BC Lions. All right. So support some, check out all those podcasts. I could go on and on and on. If you get the SGPN app, you'll get access to all of our podcasts. I mean, Zed Run Gambling Podcast, the notorious OTB, if you want to bet horses, which is, I always bet the ponies. Check out that. And we just got you covered. Just check it out at MMA Gambling Podcast. Check it all out. Come talk Xavier hoops and future Xavier football with us in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord, or whatever sport. It doesn't matter. You could be talking about the the fucking bobsledding race going on in the Netherlands, and I'm sure there's a channel for it in there. So check it out. All right, folks. I really cannot wait for the season. I cannot wait for the season. And I'm a closet Xavier fan. I feel like ever since I don't know. I feel like mid-90s, ever since, the rivalry really spiced up. So, all right, folks, this is the college basketball experience, Xavier Musketeer style. You better start thinking about yours, and we out of here.
Thank you. Well, this is a great way to get started, and I haven't even brought all my kids yet. It's a great night to be a Tiger. I'm here with my family.
Hey, this is Pac-Man Jones. You're listening to XGPN. Let it rock.
Well, I don't get Rick.
Coaching, coaching did a horrible job. The players did a horrible job. We got our ass kicked in the second half.
Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off.
When we were winning conference titles and going to the Final Four, we were making a statement.